Hello everyone, I'm Andrew from Shalom Vegetables. Today we're out in the greenhouse and we're going to talk about transplanting. Moreover, how we start our seedlings. I don't have a huge greenhouse, I have a smaller hoop house that I built out of light resistant PVC. And so I don't start it like early February like a lot of greenhouses do. I actually start my stuff indoors, which will create a space problem. But I found a way around that, and that's through starting them in flats and then transplanting them after they've germinated a few weeks. These seedlings here are green bell peppers. They're roughly 4 weeks old. I started them in the house. This video is going to show you a little bit about how I do that and then how I transplant. Stick with us and follow along. Alright, to start out with, to get my transplant started, I start with just my regular seed. I put about 3/4 to 1 inch of potting soil in the bottom of a potting tray with no holes in it. You want to kind of pack it down with your hand. Then you're going to just take your seed. In this case, I'm planting Beaver Lodge 6808 slicer. It's an organic slicer from Territorial Seeds. It's a determinate tomato. You're going to take them, sprinkle them out in your hand, and then you're just going to kind of sprinkle them all over here, all over your tray, like that. And so what happens is you can actually start several hundred plants in one flat versus, you know, maybe 10 flats to get several hundred of them. So you start them like that, and then what I do is I just take some of the potting mix, okay? And I'm just gonna, I don't want to bury them deep. I just want a nice light 1/4 inch covering at the most on top. Get a nice light covering over them, and then I just wet them. I wet the potting mix, and I stack these right on a counter in the house, and within about 5 days they germinate. Once they've germinated, I move them under plant lights, and then I'll keep them under plant lights until I'm ready to transplant. I'm going to finish transplanting out this flat. These are California Wonders, and I'll show you how I do that now. A quick highlight on what I use to transplant into. These are a molded plastic. They're heavier duty. They'll work for multiple seasons. And also you'll see inside them they have these ribs. These keep your tomatoes and your peppers, eggplants, stuff like that that's going to be in a seedling tray for a long time. Keeps them from becoming root bound. And it helps, they have holes in the bottom for air root pruning, so the roots grow out, they die, and it sends out all kinds of little sucker roots inside of here. And then what happens is when you put that plant in the ground, those roots expand all throughout, and you get a plant that has very little transplant shock. I love these for my long-term stuff. I don't use them for things like cabbage or chard or kales, Brussels sprouts, stuff like that that's not going to be in a tray for 8 weeks. I'll use just your standard 4-cell 10-20 trays. But for these here, I like these. They're great, but you do have to keep them watered because of those holes in the bottom. You got to water them twice a day. So I fill them up, then I'm going to poke holes in them here. Then what I do, take my seedlings here, I'm going to pinch some of them out, separate the dirt out of them. So a little bit of a shake, there's one. I drop him right in the hole, pinch the dirt around him. Next one, right in the hole, pinch the dirt around him. Pinch the dirt around him, and I'll do this for the whole seedling tray here. You can do, if you're pretty quick, you can do about 12 flats an hour. 12 flats is just shy of 1,000 seedlings. So, but you got to move pretty fast to be at that pace, but it's definitely possible. So, this is how I do all my tomatoes, peppers. I'll do my cabbage, my early cabbage like this. I do my early kale like this. I used to do all my lettuce like this and then transplant out into the grow beds. I changed that this year. I'm trying a little different system. We'll do a video highlighting that here in the future. But I just wanted to take a minute and show you how I do this. Alright guys, you can see here I got all 72 cells transplanted. Now what I'll do is I'll gently water these for the next 3 or 4 days, twice a day, to keep them moist and you set those roots, and what happens is they'll take right off. They'll be about 7 days like this, and then you'll just see them start growing like crazy because the roots will reset, they'll develop new roots, and these plants will take right off. About 6 to 8 weeks we'll have these in the ground outside. We'll show you a video of how we grow our peppers as that time progresses in spring here, and just what we do to successfully have early peppers and abundance. You guys have a great day.